Hey everyone, I'm back again with the topic of making a homemade antenna from old discarded items. Let's see what useful things we can find in this plastic box full of old stuff. I think this old camera router actually looks quite useful for building the signal receiving part of the antenna setup. To properly complete this homemade antenna project, we'll need two routers. I'm sure many people here aren't familiar with what a signal receiving router is, so let me briefly introduce it. A router like this is a device that helps capture and process incoming signals, then distributes or forwards them so they can be used by other devices. In this project, it can play an important role in supporting the antenna system. Next, I have a 1 to 2 signal splitter. I'll be using it to collect signals from the two signal receiving routers and send them toward the signal transmission unit in this setup. And at the same time, to connect the two routers to the 1 to 2 splitter, I've also prepared two short coaxial cable segments as intermediate links. These will help bridge everything together and, in theory, improve the overall signal reception. This is an F-type coaxial cable connector. It's a small but important part used to join coaxial cables securely, ensuring a stable and reliable signal connection between components in the system. Next, I've also prepared a longer coaxial cable. One end of this cable will be modified to connect to the remaining output of the 1 to 2 signal splitter, while the other end will be prepared for connection to the TV. For the cable end that will connect to the TV, in addition to installing a standard F-type connector, I also added a 90-degree F-type connector. This makes the connection more flexible and helps reduce strain when the cable is plugged in. Alright, the homemade antenna setup is now fully assembled. Everything is in place and ready to go. Now it's time to move it outside and test how it actually performs in real conditions. Before I start connecting the device to the TV, I'll check the TV first so you can clearly see that it's currently showing no signal. This is just to avoid any doubts that the results are staged. And now we've reached the final moment of this project. From a pile of old, discarded parts, everything has slowly been brought together step by step into a complete homemade antenna system. It's nothing fancy, just simple materials and a bit of trial and error, but sometimes that's exactly what makes these experiments interesting. Whether it will actually improve the signal or not, we can't just guess from theory alone. The only way to know for sure is to test it in real conditions with everything connected and running. So now, let's plug it in, step back for a moment and see what kind of result this setup can really deliver.